All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to make a quick video talking about Russell Westbrook. He is going to be a Denver Nuggets after he gets traded and bought out. And I have a lot of thoughts about this, surprisingly. It's not going to be a long video, but I want to say my thoughts about Russell Westbrook going to the Nuggets because I actually think this is going to be an amazing move for both sides and talk about it all here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So Russell Westbrook is going to be traded from the LA Clippers to the Utah Jazz in exchange for the sign and traded contract of Chris Dunn to the Clippers, a 3-year, $17 million deal, along with some other things that I don't really remember. And then the Jazz are going to buy out Russell Westbrook, and he is going to, once it clears waivers, sign with the Denver Nuggets. Now, back a couple weeks ago when free agency first started, it was reported that Russell Westbrook was opting into his option, so the Clippers could trade him. The Clippers wanted to trade him. I don't really know why. We'll get more into that later. But it was no surprise that Russell Westbrook was on the trade market, and the Clippers are going to try to send him somewhere. And the Nuggets are one of the first teams that were reported for Russell Westbrook. Even there's a report, I don't know how true it is or not, saying that Nikola Jokic, was pushing Denver to go get Russell Westbrook. And so now time goes by, and eventually it's going to happen. Russ is going to be a Denver Nugget. And I really love this for both sides, for both Russell Westbrook and for the Denver Nuggets. Now, am I saying Russell Westbrook is going to go back to his MVP form? No. Like, Russell Westbrook currently is, I want to say, about 34, 35 years old. He's 35 years old. Like, he's not going to hit another level or anything like that. And, I'm not saying he's going to be absolutely amazing, but I think this is going to be a nice move for him and for the Nuggets. For Westbrook, personally, for him, he's going to have a big role over there in Denver. Like, if you guys know, if you watched the Denver Nuggets last year, their biggest hole, their biggest weakness was their bench. They didn't have anybody off the bench that you can really trust to handle big situations. While back in 2023, when they were the NBA champions, the best thing about them, or one of the good things they had, was a bench. Bruce Brown became one of the best role players in the NBA. That's how he got a huge contract. They had Jeff Green, a veteran, Ish Smith. They had all that, when they won their championship. Look at last year. Who's their bench? Christian Brown was solid, and he's probably going to be a starter this year. Is he ready to be a starter? I don't know if his three-point shooting is ready yet. He's a good energy player and defender and stuff like that, but all right. Reggie Jackson was their best player off the bench statistically. He averaged 10 points per game, but realistically, how much is Reggie Jackson carrying you or impacting you in a playoff series? There's some points Reggie Jackson didn't really play a lot in the playoffs. There's some points he only played about a little bit less than 10 minutes per game. Christian Brown was their most used bench player. He played 17 minutes per game and averaged 5 points and shot 22% from three. Reggie Jackson's not even on the team anymore. He got traded to the Charlotte Hornets because they're trying to, save money. And after that, Peyton Watson was a good energy in terms of blocking shots and doing stuff like that. But again, I don't know if Peyton Watson is really ready for all that yet. Is Peyton Watson ready to be a consistent six-man or something on a playoff team yet? I don't really know. I think there's some other guy, Justin Holiday, played 58 games last year, who's a veteran. He's a good shooter. But again, Justin Holiday isn't the veteran that's going to come in and be a crazy contributor off the bench. And then DeAndre Jordan is 35 years old. And then after that, Julian Strawther, who I'm a big fan of. I do think Julian Strawther is going to have a big part of this team next year. He's still, again, he only played 50 games last year, only played 10 minutes per game. So he's not really ready yet. So their bench was just really inexperienced. They had a really inexperienced bench that just couldn't really find ways to contribute a lot. And that was a big reason why the Nuggets ended up losing in the semifinals to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now you bring in Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is still, despite him being 35 years old, he's way past his prime already, but he is still an effective NBA player. He is still someone that you can give 20, 22. Last year he played 22 minutes per game. He averaged 11, 5, and 4 with a steal per game. The efficiency wasn't great, but we already know when you're getting Russell Westbrook, you already know you're gonna get some turnovers, you're gonna get some not good efficiency at this point in your career. Yes. But for the Denver Nuggets, they don't need him to be that Russell Westbrook. They don't need him to come off the bench and give you 15, 10, and 10 on 50% shooting, hit 3 threes. Like, that's not what they need Russell Westbrook for. They need Russell Westbrook to come off the bench and just be himself. I think that's why I like it for Russ, because I feel like he can go to Denver, he can kind of be a form of himself, where he's going to have control of the bench unit with a lot of young players that are going to, get out of his way. Guys like Julian Strother, guys like Christian Brown might play with the bench unit sometimes. Dario Saric you brought in. Peyton Watson, guys that don't need the ball in their hands, guys that can space the floor, can impact the game in little ways. Westbrook is going to have full control of that bench unit in terms of ball handling, and he can do him. We've seen the best of Russell Westbrook has been when it's him and a bunch of just random dudes on the team, and he can go out and get it. Like, look what he did in Washington. Yes, he had Bradley Beal, but in Washington, after Bradley Beal, who else was there? And that's when he was amazing. Points with the Clippers last year, he was really good off the bench because it was just him and a bunch of just dudes out there. That's when Russell Westbrook is at his best. Even with the Lakers. With the Lakers, his second year with the Lakers, when he started to come off the bench, he played a lot better because it was just him and the bench unit. And I think now going to Denver, he's going to have he's going to be the full-time sixth man most likely. I think he is going to have control of that bench and he's going to really shine. He's going to get others involved. Guys like Julian Strother, Payne Watson can learn from Russ, and he could just be a jolt of energy and production off the bench, which is something the Denver Nuggets desperately need. When Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray need their rest, and Jamal Murray has been a little bit injury prone. He only played 59 games last year. Jamal Murray sometimes, once in a while, has an injury bug here and there. When he's out, Russell Westbrook could come right in off that bench and keep up some production. Is it going to be the same as Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But any production is better than what they're getting last year. Anything that Russell Westbrook brings is going to be better than what they did last year, which is why I love this move for Russ, because, again, he gets to be in a role which I think is best for him at this point in his career, is come off the bench and control the bench unit and could still, give some experience and still give some production. And for the Denver Nuggets, because they need a player like Russell Westbrook. They need someone like that. They need an energy spark. They need something to come off the bench and be productive. They need just a jolt. And that's what Westbrook does. He brings a jolt of energy to this team. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Even when it first came out that the Nuggets are interested in Westbrook, I was a big fan of this move. Because, again, like all the points I keep mentioning, I think it fits well for both sides. I really see it. Now, of course, the Denver Nuggets do play a very systematic type of game where Nikola Jokic has the ball and everyone has to find their way around. And so that's going to be probably one of the tougher things to figure out is how does Westbrook fit in if he is playing with guys like Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. and all them. How is he really going to fit in that regard? Because he's not a three-point shooter. But I think maybe he can be used as a cutter. Maybe he could be used down low. Maybe when Aaron Gordon is out of the game, they could pull Russell Westbrook in. He can play a role like that in a very, very smaller way in terms of offense. Still be able to cut and aggressively attack the rim. That's going to be the one. That's the one pushback I see that I think makes sense. Is when if Westbrook is playing with the starting unit with Jokic and with Murray and with Aaron Gordon, how is that really going to work with all of them together? But if Russell Westbrook is just solely coming off the bench and playing with a lineup without Nikola Jokic or without, Aaron Gordon at the 5 or something like that, I think that can really work. I think he can come in and do some really good things. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this move, Russell Westbrook to Denver. I really, really hope that it does work out for him because I love Russ, and I just want to see him, be successful. And I want to see him work out. So I really do hope that this does work out for Russell Westbrook and he comes in and he can, near the end of his career, this probably his best chance of winning. Well, the Clippers last year were a good chance of winning, but this is a really good chance for him to win. The Nuggets are going to be hungry next year. They're going to try to come out and win another one. They don't have KCP, so it's going to be really tough. They lost some things, but as long as you have Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray, I feel like you have a chance if you're the Denver Nuggets. And now you're adding Russell Westbrook, a guy off the bench that can give you some constant production. I think they could be a lot better this season. For the Clippers side of it, I'm not really sure what's next for the Clippers. They're trading Russell Westbrook. They're trying to trade PJ Tucker. They're trying to trade a lot of their veterans, and they're brought in guys like Mo Bamba and Kevin Porter Jr. and young players like that. So maybe are they going with the route of just putting a bunch of young dudes around Kawhi and James Harden? Just a lot of young athletes because they were one of the older teams last year. Maybe that's what they're doing, or they're just trying to clear out some money, clear out the old veteran. I don't really know what the Clippers are doing. Chris Dunn is solid. I mean, Chris Dunn since coming back to the league with Utah has been a pretty solid PG. But I just don't know where the Clippers' direction really is at right now, so I don't really know what to say about it. But Russ, hope he goes over to Denver, and I hope he kills. Yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.